is come from the production. You make the production, and then the excess of your production is gonna be stored stored as your inventory. So the inventory is gonna build up gradually over the period of time, right? And is suitable for, especially for the production that we call type of the production to be batch. And we want to determine how much to produce, right, for each batch, right, in order to have the inventory cost minimum. Okay, let's think. Why the inventory is building up gradually, right, over the period of time. First, we need to know two things for EPQ. The production rate, right, per days, we call P rate, and the demand rate per days, or D rate, P and D. D is come from demand rate, P is production rate. Using this model, P has to greater than D rate. Right? For example, if you have the demand per day, or D rate, equal to 20 units, but you have the production rate per day, or P rate, equal to 30 units. So it means that when you produce 30 units, 20 to be your serve for your demand, right? And the rest 10 units into the store as your inventory. For tomorrow, you make the production again 30 units. You use for the demand 20, and another 10, the asset from 20 gonna store at the inventory again. So the inventory is gonna building up, right? Up to some point, just one point, right? Once you building up inventory again and again until you reach one point. Based on that point, you can stop your production. And once you stop your production, the demand rate still continue. Right? But to serve for that demand rate, in that case, when you stop production, you're gonna use the inventory that you're building up or store in your storage to serve for that demand. Okay? And when you use it for serve for that demand until it's run off, you're gonna start the production again. Okay, so this is the EPQ model. So the EOQ will not use for this case because EOQ is not for you make the produce inventory by your own, right? Because EOQ you make the order, right, to store, but EPQ you make your production and excess of your production gonna store to be your inventory. And the concept of level inventory is different. EOQ is, inventory is increased immediately, but for EPQ is building up gradually. Okay. In order to make you getting better understanding, right? Let's see this assumption. The assumption of the EPQ model, right, similar to EOQ, except that the order received, right, in a single delivery unit, and instead of order received in a single delivery as an EOQ, but for EPQ, it's going to receive incrementally during the production. But the rest of the assumption is still the same. For example, only one item involved, and the demand is known, and the demand rate is constant, and also the usage occur continuously, but the production occur periodically, right? Because we are not produce continuous, we have the time that we stop to off our production and restart the production again. In order to show you more, right, I need to use this term to explain more, right? For example, for EPQ, right, we have no ordering cost anymore, but we're gonna use setting up cost instead. So it's mean that every time that we make the production, we're gonna pay for the setting up cost. This is quite the same as ordering cost, but we call it setting up cost. The second one is that the setting up cost, right, is a cost of you setting up in the production facility, right, to manufacture this artwork. Right? So that's why we call it setting up cost. And it's also normally include the salary and wages of the employees, called the paperwork and so on. Okay, so this figure of the graph gonna explain everything, right? Okay, once again we have the X is to be time, Y is to be the inventory level. Okay, let's see here. If we have, if we make the production, right? Okay, the production is equal to P rate. Let's say here. Right. Okay. If we have no demand, and you keep produce the production equal to P rate every day, you're gonna building up by inventory just like this. Okay. The slope of this dashed line we call P rate. Slope equal to P, or production rate per day. But since we produce equal to P rate, but at the same time we also search for the demand equal to D rate, right? So then the inventory is not to be the dashed line, it's going to be this line. This line we call the inventory that building up. The slope, I can call it slope equal to P, even slope equal to P minus D. The slope equal to P minus D. Or the excess inventory, right? After you search for the demand rate, right? And then when you reach to some point, let's say this point, equal time equal to T, the excess inventory is maximum, we call it maximum inventory. And at this point, we stop production. But we still have demand rate, remember? We still have demand rate. So then we're gonna use the inventory that we're building up to serve for that demand. So the level of inventory, right, or the graph of this one, slope equal to D rate. And when we use this to serve for demand equal to D rate, until it's run out of to this point, we start the production again. So for this one, we start to produce again. So I will repeat. We make the production, right, by let's say we produce as a batch. Each batch is Q unit, let's say. This one that we want to determine. Batch Q unit. But when we make the production, right, we cannot make in one day, right? For example, I said that, okay, for one batch, they can produce 1,000 units. But I have ability to produce 10 units per day, right? So I cannot produce 1,000 per one day, right? So then I'm going to produce 10 units, today 10 units, tomorrow another 10 units, and then 10 units, until I reach 1,000, right? But on the way that I make the production, I still have the demand, right? The customer make an order to serve for that demand. Demand equal to D rate, demand rate. So then, if this graph show you about the inventory that show you for this line that show in the graph is going to be the excess inventory after using production rate minus demand rate. For example, let's say that I make the production every day 30 units per day, but I have the demand 20 units per day. So then today I make the production 30, I sell for demand 20. I have remaining 10, right? 10 I'm gonna store in the store as inventory. Tomorrow I produce again 30. I sell for demand 20. I have remaining 10. 10 also store in the store again. So this got a building up. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Right? The slope of this line is P minus D, right? 30 minus 20. But if we have no demand, we also measure about just the production rate. The slope going to be 30 units, right? We make the production 30 units, 30 units, 30 units every day. But for inventory, we need to have just the excess that we have remaining from that demand. So it's P minus D. And up to one point, let's say time equal to T, we stop the production. We don't make any production. But demand still have it, right? We still have the demand 20 units per day. But in order to serve for that demand, we're going to use inventory that we collect so far to serve for that demand. So then the level inventory then started to reduce, right? Reduce equal to slope D or demand rate. Right? We're going to use the slope 20 units, 20 units, 20 units, 20 units, 20 units. Until this point, we use all of that we have. Then inventory equal to 0. So this point we start make the production again. Okay. The one that we want to determine is about the batch Q. The Q quantity of batch. So in this case, we're gonna using the concept of mathematics. Right? We can say that okay. In this case, right? Q over T, right? Q over T equal to slope P. Another one, we're gonna say that I eventually maximum over T is going to be equal to slope P minus D, right? But from this, we know that T will be equal to Q over P, right? So then, from this we have inventory maximum equal to T multiplied with P minus D. Then we substitute T equal to Q over P to this. So then we're going to have inventory maximum equal to Q over P multiplied P minus D. And then we're gonna have Q 1 minus D over P. Like this. Slope P, this one, slope this one. Y over X, y slope. Q over T, we have slope P. For this slope is P minus D, right? We're using Y over X, Y is inventory maximum over T, this one. Inventory maximum, we just using T to multiply this term, but T actually is come from Q over P. Then we use Q over P substitute to T here. We have this one as result for inventory maximum. And we just to send this term into this. So we can have Q over 1 minus D over P. So based on this, what happened? If we're using the same concept of EOQ, when we try to find the total inventory cost. So the carrying cost, remember? Carrying cost, we're using the average inventory multiplied with C sub H. In EOQ, we're using Q over 2, remember? Minimum plus maximum over 2, average. In this case, the same. Minimum is 0, right? Minimum is 0. Maximum is this one. But I maximum, we just calculate that equal to Q multiplied with 1 minus D over P. So then, this is minimum inventory. This is maximum inventory that I just showed you about the calculation. And then we sum up together and divide it by 2 as the average inventory. we're using this term, right, to be the average inventory, and then we multiply with the C sub H. It's going to be the total carrying cost, right? Same concept as EOQ. But for setting up cost is same as the ordering cost. You're just using the demand, annual demand, divided by Q. You make the production per one batch equal to Q unit. So how many times that you need to setting up your machine? Just using Q, D divided by Q. And then you have the number of times that you're going to set up your machine, and then you multiply the setting up cost C sub SE. And how about the cost of production? Since you know about the demand constant, demand equal to D, right? And per one unit, the cost is P. So you're using P now, multiply with D dot. So then the total cost, then we combine with the total setting up cost, with the total carrying cost, with the production cost. But once again, we try to find Q that optimal. So then we're using the calculus to differentiation this total term by the Q. And based on the mathematics, finally, we can have this formula. The Q or EPQ, equaling production quantity, equal to the square root of 2D C sub SE divided by this term. Okay, so this is the EPQ model. And also we can calculate another two things. It's called cycle time and run time. Cycle time is about the time between your start, make the production again. This one. This is the cycle time. From here to here. This cycle time. And for runtime, it's about the production cycle, the time that you need to make the production. Right? So this is your runtime. T is equal to runtime. Okay, T equal to runtime, and from cycle time is time between starting make the production. Is that one? Okay, you need to see the example, and you're gonna get in the better understanding. I will show you based on this example. We have the company is called Brown Manufacturing Company. This company produces many size of refrigeration pack in batches. The firm estimated demand for the year is 10,000 units. Because Brown operates for 167% each day, each year, this annual demand translates to a daily demand rate of about 60 units per day. It costs about $100 to set up the manufacturing process. And the carrying cost is about $0.5 per unit per year. When the production process has been setting up, any refrigeration packs can be manufactured daily. Each pack costs $5 to produce. So 3 questions here. How many packs should Brown produce in each batch? Calculating the production cycle of the company. Calculating the cycle time for the optimal run site. Okay. In this case, what we can have here for the information. First, we know that annual demand is 10,000, right? 10,000. We know that every time that you're setting up the machine, you pay for the setting up cost equal to $100 per setting up. $100 per setting. And how about the carrying cost per unit per year? It's tell that carrying cost per unit per year is $0.5 per unit per year. Demand rate. We all know that the demand for this case is 60 units per day. Right? The company has demand 60 units per day. And it has the production rate equal to 80 units per day. 80 units per day. So this is the demand rate. This is the production rate. So it means the company produce each day 80 units. But at the same time, each day they're gonna serve for the demand 60 units. So they have remaining 20 units, right? For each day to store as an inventory. But we want to find that, okay, per one batch, how many units that they need to produce or finding Q. So in this case, we're using the formula of EPQ model. Q star or EPQ model equal to the square root of 2DCSE divided by CH multiplied with 1 minus D over P. With a still demand rate, annual demand equal to 10,000. C sub S 100, C sub S 0.5, demand at 60, production at 80. Finally, we have 4,000 units. Right, 4,000 units. So it means that this company, in order to have the minimum total inventory cost, the company has to produce 4,000 units in one batch. Okay? One batch, 4,000 units. But for each day, the company has ability to produce just 80 units, right? So then how about the production cycle or runtime? We know that one batch is 4,000, but one day we can produce 80. So then we use 4,000 divided by 80. So then we have 50 days. So it means that it takes 50 days to produce one batch, right? And how about the cycle time? Right? How about the cycle time? Or the time between make the production again? Okay, just a minute. Okay. So cycle time between make the production again. Okay. We know that per one batch we produce 4,000, right? 4,000. But don't forget that based on this graph, we try to find this length from here to here. From make the production here and then until we make another one again. Based on this, we still have the demand equal to demand rate all the time, right? So then, from 4,000, right? From 4,000, if we divide it by demand rate, or 60 in this case, it's gonna take account of 66.67 days, right? To use all the 4,000 to serve for the demand. So it means that every 66.67 days, we need to make the production again because we don't have it anymore. Because 4,000 units per one batch, we serve for the demand 60 units per day for 66.67 days, and then we don't have any more for the inventory. We need to make the production again. Okay. So in this case, this is an EPQ. So if you're gonna drawing the graph, it's gonna be like this. It's not on the scale, right? From here to here, this 50 days. And from this to this is 66.67 days. Okay. So this is an EPQ. EPQ is come from building up your inventory from your production, excess of your production, right? After you're using the production rate, so for the demand rate, and your remaining is going to be your inventory, right? And then you building up until point that you serve for the one batch, then you stop, and then you use that inventory to serve for the demand. Okay, so I spent a lot of time about explain you this so you can expect something from Excel. Okay? The next model is called quantity discount model. Quantity discount model. The quantity discount model, as I told you at the beginning, is about that when you make in orders more and reach unto some point, you're gonna getting discount from your supplier. Right? The way that they're gonna give the discount to you normally is depend on the level of your orders. So they can have like the range, right? And for each range, they have the difference of discount percentage. Right? You know that if we order more and more and more, very big, huge amount of the orders, we can get more discount. But it's over the demand that we want, over to serve for the demand that we want. So you're getting more discount, but you pay more about the carrying cost, right? You order too much big amount of the order, you're getting huge discount, but you have too much inventory to use. So you need to store in the storage. You pay much for the carrying cost. Right? The problem is that we need to trading off, right? Because if you order not too much, you have the very less chance to getting the huge discount. You're gonna have the very little discount from the supplier, but you can save for the carrying cost. But if you order very big amount of your orders, you can have the big discount, but you pay much for the carrying cost. So you need to trade off between two things. So the problem is, how do you know that which level or amount that we should make an order, right? In this case, because if we order too much, we pay more for the carrying cost. If we order less, we pay less for ordering cost, carrying cost, but we getting less for discount as well. So how many is optimal? How of the number of order or the amount of the to order that we're gonna make. Right? So I try to conclude in just 4 steps. No matter what, you using the way to calculate carrying cost in which way, using as a fixed cost or using as a percentage of your item value or item price. You can using this step. Same. The step is that, okay, I'm gonna read this, you don't understand for sure, but you need to see the example. Okay, but I have to, right? First, we based on the discount, as I mentioned, it's gonna have the discount at the range, right? For example, in this case, if you order up to 999, you getting no discount anymore. If you order 1,000 to 1,999, you have 4% discount. If you order 2,000 or more, you're getting 5% discount, something like that. Right? So the step is that for each discount price or for each level of the discount price, you just calculate Q star from the EOQ model, or using the Q from the formula of EOQ model. And then you need to analyze by consider that, okay, Q star that you're getting from the EOQ model, this is possible, right, to be the quantity in that range or not. By consider the Q star compare to the range, right, of that discount level. If your Q star is below the lower bound of that range, you just adjust the Q star equal to the lower bound. If your Q star is, say, between lower bound and upper bound, just using that Q star. If your Q star is more than the upper bound, it means that range is impossible to happen. Just cut it off. And then the third step is that based on the remaining level that you have, you just calculate the total inventory cost for each level. and then see which level provide the lowest total inventory cost, then you use that level to make an order. Okay. For example, I'm going to show you based on this example. We have the brass department store, stock toy cars. Recently, the store was given a quantity discount schedule for the cars. The normal cost of order between 0 to 999 is $5 per car. The order between 1,000 and 1,999, the cost is down to $4.80. For order 2,000 or more, the cost is down to $4.55. The only cost is $49 per order, and the demand is 5,000 cars. The inventory carrying right now is calculated at the percentage of the cost, about 20% of the cost of that item. What order quantity will minimize the total cost? So in this case, if I show the information from the problem, okay, we can see that we have 3 levels of the discount. Discount number 1, 2, and 3. Number 1, you're getting no discount or 0%, cost is $5. Discount number 2, you're getting 4 discount percentage, cost is $4.80. And discount number 3, 5% discount, you have $4.75. Based on the information, under demand is 5,000 cars, right? So under demand is 5,000. Order cost is $49 per orders. Carrying cost at this time is calculated equal to 20% of item. So then we know that the cost of the item or cost of toy car is $5, right? Normal cost. So 20% is just $1 for the first discount number. But if you calculate the carry cost for the second discount number, you use 20% of $4.80. If you calculate the carry cost for the third discount number, you use 20% of $4.75. So from this, let's start with the step 1. For the step 1, we just calculate EOQ or the Q star from the EOQ formula for each level. EOQ is square root of 2D C sub O divided by C sub H. D is 5,000, C sub O is 49. But C sub H is gonna different for each level. For the first level is 20% off $5. For the second level, C sub H is 20% off $4.80. And for the third level, C sub H is 20% off $4.75. So finally, this is the first step result. You have the Q star from the EOQ model equal to 700, 714, 718. Now we will consider this result from EOQ with the range. For example, the first discount number you calculate Q star equal to 700, right? 700, you can see this is low bound, this is upper bound. 700 is stay between low bound and upper bound, right? So it's okay. We keep Q star equal to 700. It means it's possible to have that. But for the second discount level, you calculate Q star equal to 714.43. 714.43, when you consider with this range, is below the low bound. Low bound is 1,000. So then you need to adjust that Q star to be equal to the low bound. Or you adjust 714 to be 1,000. Okay. For the third level, again, you have Q star 718.18. 718.18 for this level is below the upper bound, the lower bound. So then you adjust Q star equal to the lower bound, 2,000. So then the new Q star, after you adjust, you can have for the first level 700, second level 1,000, and third level 2,000. Why do we need to adjust? Because we made it possible. Because when you calculate Q star, when you're using C sub S, you're using 20% multiplied with this price, right? So if you not adjust, it's impossible because let's say the second level, you're using this price to calculate the C sub h, but the result you have 714. 714, you cannot get this price, right? In order to using this price, you need to adjust to be 1000, so you can use this price. For the third level as well, you calculate 718. Based on the third level that you calculate, C sub f, you're using 20% of this price. But in order to getting this price, you need to order at least 2000. So that's why you need to adjust to be 2000. Okay. And one more. Support that. If you calculate, for example, this is the assume that you calculate Q star for the second level equal to 2100. You can see 2100 is more than the upper bound, right? So it means that impossible that you're going to getting this price, right? Because 2100, no way that you're getting this price. So you just delete this level. It's impossible to make order within this range. Okay? But for this problem right now, since we have just two of these that below the lower bound, so then we just adjust it equal to the value of lower bound. So now, after we adjust, we can have 700, 1000, 2000. Then the next step is that based on this Q star for each level, we just calculate the total inventory cost. Remember, total inventory cost is calculated from ordering cost plus carrying cost plus purchase cost. Ordering cost is using demand divided by Q, right? And multiply with ordering per order. Plus carrying cost, remember average inventory Q over 2 multiply with C sub H. And then plus purchase cost using the price, normal price of the product multiplied with annual demand. So then after we calculate the total cost, from the first level that using Q equal to 700, you have 25,700. For the second level that you're using Q equal to 1,000, you have 24,225. And for the third level, you have this one, 24,822. So comparing among these three levels, this one is the lowest one. So then we select the second level. So in this case, it means that you need to make an order equal to 1,000 with the price of $4.08. You're gonna getting the minimum total inventory cost. Okay, so this is the quantity discount. Okay. So if you look at this graph, you can see. Remember, the graph is show about the value of Q of the total cost that based on Q that you calculate from the EOQ model. Let's say for this one, you have 714, right? But you cannot get the price for the last 80, so then you adjust to using 1,000. For this level as well, minimum that you calculate the EOQ, you have 780. But then you cannot get in this price, so then you need to adjust it to use 2,000. Okay, so that you can have the result of the quantity discount. Okay, so today I stop here for 4 model. The difficult one we're gonna continue next time. Yeah. Safety stock is difficult, right? Let's see next time. Right. No case study for today. But let you enjoy some gun, right? But when you come back, you have the case of the inventory case study. Okay, so I stop here for 4 models. Okay, EOQ, reorder point, EPQ, and quantity discount. Next class, we will continue with the safety stock and fixed interval model, right? And okay. And the one is, single plate model and ABC analysis. Okay. So now let's make the presentation, okay, for 2 case studies.